Don't let this frighten you, but the horror masters of Blumhouse Productions have announced they're branching into the video game industry, with plans to partner with some indie dev studios on lower budget games.
And is it true? Could Call of Duty really be coming to the Nintendo Switch? We're going to talk about all this and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. Gaming News Weekly is back. We are the best weekly video game news show out there right now. Best weekly video game news show there has ever been. And you're watching it right now. Every single Monday, we kick off your week with some of the biggest things happening in the video game industry. You can check us out on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services, everywhere. My name is E-Rock the Red. I'm joined every single week by this gentleman right here. Full clip. What's the haps, dude?
Yo, what's up? We're making it through this week, but always excited to go through the gaming news.
Absolutely. It's been a minute, dude. We were off last week. I was on vacation. I was out there, doing fun family stuff. But, not that I didn't have time for the gaming news. There just really wasn't much to talk about. And I was like, full clip can handle it on its own.
Yeah, slow news week.
Yeah, slow news week. But we're back with a big news week. We got lots to talk about. I played a lot of games the last few days. I didn't do much gaming on vacation. I took my Steam Deck, played a few games there. I'm obsessed. I didn't realize this was a thing. And I've talked about it before. I'm obsessed with video, like Steam bundles. Dude, there's there's a website called Fanatical, and they always come out with these mystery bundles. And I don't know if I've talked about it on the show, but it's like $6 and you get 10 mystery game keys. You don't know what they're going to be, but they're like, there's AAA titles in here you could get. I still haven't gotten one of those, but I keep buying these mystery bundles, man. And it's like, so I'm playing all these games I've never heard of, never would have played, that are from some of them are from 2009, 2010. Some of them are old ass games, but there's some diamonds in the rough as well. So yeah, it's something fun about just hitting that reveal code key or reveal game, and then it's like, man, what's it gonna be? And then it's like, and so my thing now is as soon as it gets revealed, I go to the Steam website and I look to see what it is. First of all, I look to see if it's Steam Deck compatible. Second of all, I look at the reviews, very positive, mostly positive, whatever. And then I check to see the price. And some of these games, dude, I just got one. It was a 49-cent game. And I'm like, really? It was like a Leisure Suit Larry game. You ever play those? They're still happening, believe it or not. And I got one of them. So, yeah. I got a whole, but it's funny too, because I'll look at them, and then if they're not Steam compatible or whatever, if I just doesn't seem like something I'm interested in, I'll put it on a list. I have a notes thing on my phone of all these Steam codes I have now that I have no desire to ever use or whatever. So I got to figure out what to do with those. What about you? You play anything good?
I haven't really played anything new lately. A little bit of Red Dead Online, but mostly got back into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Because Season 2 finally just dropped on the 15th of February. So a couple days after that, I got back into it, snagged the Battle Pass, got about 10% through it so far, and I'm back on the grind.
Nice. You enjoying it?
Yeah, they added Infection mode back in, so it's kind of cool to be able to play a party mode like that and relieve some tension after playing the new Hardcore mode that they also added back in, which is pretty good. I'm always a hardcore player. I was not a big fan of the Tier 1 changes, which is a weird hybrid of realism mode and hardcore. I'm just happy to have hardcore back.
Nice, yeah. I know you're a hardcore guy. I've described you as that before. So, yeah, that's cool. I just deleted it just recently. I had to make room for PlayStation VR. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I had to make room for some PSVR2 games, and Call of Duty, man, it took the hit. It's 110 gigs or whatever. It's
a big one.
I'll go back to it, but All right, should we talk about some games?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about our new releases from last week. First up, Atomic Heart came out for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS. This came out February 21st. It's a first-person shooter. You got powers. You can upgrade abilities. You got crazy like glove hands that shoots things out. There's weird, sexy robots. And it's all set in an alternate 1955 USSR, Soviet Union world. And yeah, there's lots of controversy going about this game right now. You following this?
Yeah, saw the headlines but didn't really read too far into it. I know Ukraine is kind of asking for it to be banned on PlayStation and Xbox. Some pro-Russia stuff in it, potentially?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it's like, I guess they're alleging that the production company has ties to, Russia and, and their support of the Russian military war on the Ukraine. So again, it's all alleged. I think the only real hard evidence is that the company that owns the production company has given money. They're very pro Russia and has given money to Russian government before. But people are also upset that the production company that made Atomic Heart never really came right out and denounced Russia's attack on the Ukraine. They just said, we don't want anybody injured. And that was basically it. So, people are really, they're not happy about it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to check it out still.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope none of that's true. But it's becoming very hard to be like an ethical consumer in the gaming world these days. So hopefully none of that's true, because I'd like to try it out. It's like a BioShock or a Fallout set in like a 50s alternate universe Russia. That sounds appealing in almost every way. Yeah,
and it looks weird. So now it's getting the reviews for it are all over the place. It's like in the 70s on Metacritic, and some reviews are 8, 9s, and some are 5s. So it's obviously it's falling in the middle there, but it's I don't know if any of that controversy is skewing the reviews, but it's definitely interesting, and it's on Game Pass. So if I just played on Game Pass, I'm not really giving them any money, right? So that's ethically okay, right?
Hopefully you're absolved there.
Yeah, I'll sleep better at night, I guess, knowing that I'm not giving them money, and I've already subscribed to Game Pass, so I'm not even doing that. So next up, Like a Dragon Ishin came out for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S. This is so it was it came out in 2014 initially, but it was only released in Japan. And it's set in the 1800s, and you play as this dope samurai, and you just murder everybody. That's basically what I got from the trailer. There's 4 different fighting styles. You could be a gunman, or a swordsman, or a coxman. I don't know. I made that last one up. But there's just a ton of different side quests you could do, and it looks great. Yeah, it looks super bloody, super violent. But yeah, it's on the list, man. It absolutely it looks cool. I like the setting. I like the style. I always there's a lot of cool samurai games out there right now. And this is just another one. I'm putting it on the list. And then last up, Octopath Traveler 2 came out for PC, PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. This is it's a JRPG, kind of the classic role-playing game gameplay. It's the turn-based gameplay, and it's the best part about it is the beautiful art style. So it's got these 3D textured backgrounds, and then these little sprite characters that exist in this world. They're really, really cool. Friends of mine love these games, or specifically the first Octopath Traveler. Big fan of it. I guess you have 8 different heroes, and you switch between them throughout the game. And then like I said, turn based and all that fun role-playing game nonsense. All right, and that's it for our new release games. There's one other major new release that I feel like we need to talk about now. This is a separate corner. This is E-Rock the Reds VR corner. And then there's going to be a cool stinger that comes in. Pew, pew, pew. Like these amazing graphics. I got the PSVR2. That was a hold for applause. Just, it's happening. So I've like literally for the past, 4 months, I've been back and forth whether or not I wanted to get it or not. And I finally did. I finally just pre-ordered it. It showed up just the other day. And I got a lot to say about it. Are you ready? Sit back, relax, grab a beverage. This is E-Rock the Red VR corner. More stingers coming in, more applause. It's all happening. So I got the system, popped it open, popped it on. I had the PlayStation VR 1. I've only ever once done like PC VR in the what was it? The Vive? I think I did it once. Not the Quest. It was either a Vive or the Quest. I only did it once at a friend's house, and it was cool. It was the best thing about those, the PC VR in my mind, is that you could just like any game, you could have mods and just like play like random games in VR. That's pretty cool. What's great about a console VR though is that the games you're playing are made specifically for a virtual reality experience, and they play perfectly right out of the box. So first of all, you put the headset on, super comfortable. It doesn't, it sits really well. I played it for about maybe about an hour and a half today, and towards the end, I did feel a little bit of like heaviness on the bridge of my nose, so I had to like adjust it back. But other than that, I didn't feel like I had it on like hardly at all. It was great for the whole over an hour. Clarity is fantastic. It's got a bit of a smaller sweet spot. So like, you move it up a little bit and it's blurry. You move it down a little bit, it's blurry. But then you lock it in and you twist it in and it locks it on your head right in that spot. And then it's perfect. Like the colors are amazing because it's got 2 OLED screens in there. So like the blacks are super black and the colors just pop, dude. Like I played this one game. It's called Cosmonious High. I played a demo of it, and it's like you're in like a high school or whatever, and it's these very bright alien like characters and stuff, and it was insane the level of brightness and stuff. I played Horizon, the Horizon Call of the Mountain game, and like the sky is super bright, and you look at the sun, and it's just like everything is so bright. And like the darks, which, sometimes you don't get a very black in VR. There's a little bit of like, the screen door effect or like, and this, it still has a little bit of that, but the dark scenes, like I was playing Resident Evil 8, which I would never do otherwise, but I was like, everybody's saying how it's the best, like one of the best games for the PlayStation VR, and it was on sale. It was on sale for $20. So I'm like, I gotta get it. I popped it on, terrified, but it's such an amazing experience. It looks so good. The graphics are fantastic. What else? Oh, the controllers are interesting. They're hard to like if you're not looking. They're hard to put on. Like if you have the headset on, it's hard to get them on. The cool thing about the headset is that you could press a little button on it, and the headset has cameras throughout, and you can see your surroundings through the headset, which is really cool. And I've never experienced anything like that. And then another cool thing that not as many games are using it right now, but it's eye tracking. So like wherever you're looking in the game, you can use it for the menus in the game or whatever to like choose like what you want to pick. But the big thing with the eye tracking is it has this thing called foveated rendering, and it wherever your eye is looking, it renders that using more power, and takes a little bit of the clarity away from the other spots that you're not looking. So it kind of just focuses it there. So it's using the limited power. I mean, it's not limited. The PlayStation's power, it's less obviously, but it's using that smartly in that like the shit you're looking at is like super crystal clear, but the things kind of like off to the sides are a little bit blurry. Um, so that's fantastic too. I played a lot of games. Gran Turismo 7 was the first one I put in because I was waiting for the controllers to charge. So it's a racing game. You use the DualShock controller. Instantly, I got sick. Like, not like throw up sick, but like I haven't played a VR game like that in a while. And so it pops you right into a car and I'm driving. And like, when your body's not moving the same way as you're seeing yourself move, it does something weird. So instantly, so I played maybe about 5-10 minutes of that, and it wasn't getting any better. And I was like, okay, I got to take a break from this. So I stopped doing that, and I played my favorite game from PSVR1. It's a game called Synth Riders, and it's like a music game. Basically, like you're kind of like a Beat Saber or whatever, but you're just kind of hitting these things, and it's more like you're dancing. Those games so fun, and in this game with the intense color and the intense brightness and everything, dude, it was just amazing. So that was really cool. And then I tried I got a review copy of a game called Townsman. Didn't think I was gonna like this game. What it is, it's like a sim game. You're like a giant like god or whatever, and you have this island in front of you, and it's like you could bring it like right up here, and you see these little people like walking right in front of your face and stuff like that, and you could pick them up and tell them to do stuff, or like if you need like wood or whatever, you could just like go grab it and like hand it to them on this little map, and it was so much fun. I'm gonna have I'll be putting up a full review of that one, as well as I got a review copy of a game called Unplugged. It's a like an air guitar thing. So you're playing like a guitar. It's kind of like a rock band thing that you got the things coming down the track, and you gotta rock out at the same time. And then it's like, so that was a lot of fun. I talked about Horizon. That was amazing. I only played the demo of that. And I really want to get the full game as soon as I can. After the Fall. Never played this one before. It was out previously. They upgraded it for PSVR2. It's kind of like a zombie shooter, but it's a 4-player co-op game. This was a big surprise. I got in there and I could not believe like the gunplay in it. Fantastic. The just the sense of like the zombies coming at you and stuff. Really, really cool. I'm a big fan of that one. And then I just tried the Star Wars. There's like a Star Wars demo. And I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but this game was really well done for this first part. This first part, it was like you're in the cantina and you're kind of just getting an idea of, you get the sense of scale and stuff like that. There's a few, like you play darts and stuff like that, but it doesn't have like the full game. You go out and you do adventures and stuff like that. But this one, the graphics were beautiful, but I can't really comment on the actual gameplay. But in as brief as I could go, that's my quick take on the PlayStation VR2. I only got it yesterday. I got to mention too. First, right out of the box, there's an issue with one of the controllers not working when you are in a game. And Sony still hasn't put out a patch for this. It works in a menu just fine. So it's not like a hardware problem. But when you're in a game, you have to use a workaround in that you start the game first and then turn on the controllers, and then it works. If you have the controllers on before you start the game, it won't. One of the controllers just won't work. Yeah, crazy, right? I was like furious. You buy a $600 thing, and you just want it to work. Is that too much to ask?
So, all things considered, for it, like the games that are out right now, would you say that somebody who enjoys their PlayStation VR1, that this is a worthwhile upgrade, or should they maybe wait until there's a wider selection of games or a better price on it?
I would say if you have a PS5 and you are interested in VR, then absolutely get the VR2. It's even if you never had the VR1 but just want to try VR or think it's something that you would enjoy, it is, I mean, it's a huge jump from the initial one in terms of setup. Like, this has one cord. You know, it still has a cable. It's not wireless like the Meta Quest 2, I believe. But it's just one. And it's a long cord. You could get it. It's just a USB-C. You could get an extension, plug that in, and it didn't bother me at all. Like, it was, I didn't even realize it was there, and that's it. And then you're in there, you're playing it. There's not a much like HDMI shit to like mess with. So, the games, as far as the games right now, there's a huge lineup, especially if you didn't play the first one, because so many of those games, they did make PSVR2 versions of them. Some of them you have to rebuy. Some of them have a free upgrade. Some of them only cost like $5 or $10 to get the upgrade. So there are a lot of options. Like Tetris Effect, that's $10 to upgrade. Same with Rez, $10 to upgrade if you had them. But right now, I have enough games that I'll be playing. Probably, I'll be playing it for like 4 months without worrying about new games. And there's already a bunch that I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy this game called Pistol Whip. Everybody says it's amazing. It's kind of like a rhythm shooter. And then there was a State of Play that just came out, a Sony State of Play that came out today. We're gonna talk about. They announced 5 more games there, so the games aren't an issue. As far as AAA games, you got Gran Turismo 7 if you're into racers, Resident Evil 8 if you're into horror games, and then Horizon as far as an action game go. Those are all the big AAA games right now. But some of these indie ones that are coming out are really doing a great job utilizing the VR and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I definitely do recommend it. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, and then that's a little different when you're talking about going out and spending $1,100-$1,200 on something like that to get VR. But if you already got the PS5 and you're loving it, $550 to get playing in VR, and it's amazing VR. It rivals PC VR in my experience and from what I've read. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and it's gonna I'm not gonna be. It's gonna go into all the other games that I'm gonna be playing. So we'll see how I manage to balance the two. Oh, speaking of playing regular games, though, I did try. There's you could play like a cinematic mode where it's just a giant screen, and that it's not like crystal clear like a 4K TV is, but it's close, man. It's close, like almost like a 10-foot 4K TV in front of you. The OLEDs really do a great job rendering that. So, all right, enough about the PlayStation VR. Let's talk about some news. Let's talk about our news of the week. All right, first up, Sony recently had a State of Play. This is, they just went over some new game announcements, some stuff that we knew was coming, talked about a bunch of stuff. Let's run through it real quick. The main thing they talked about was the look at the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. We got an extended look, more of the gameplay, and it looks amazing. Dude, I have been, we talked about it before. I was on the fence. All right from the start, bam, I'm in, 100% in. They show the battle pass. I'm like, I don't know. Gotham Knights came out, and that kind of stunk. So I was like, I was wavering. I watched this trailer. Boom. I'm right back in it, dude. I'm right back at 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? Bam. Straight up.
It looks amazing. Like, I've not even seen the Suicide Squad movies. I've just seen, who's the John Cena character on Peacemaker?
Yeah.
I love that show. So if he's in this game, I'll buy it for sure. But
you should watch the Suicide Squad movies if you like Peacemaker.
Yeah. I mean, I want to eventually. But but on that subject and this whole the cinematic universe, are you as big of a DC fan as you are Marvel?
So when I was growing up, I was reading comics from a young age, and I mostly read Marvel and Image comics. And then as an adult, I kind of discovered DC, some of the older stories, and kind of got into those characters a little bit more. And also, the excellent CW shows, Arrow, Flash, those sort of things. They helped to get me into that world. But Marvel always, they still have that magic that DC's trying to really capture.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game looks fantastic though.
Yeah, yeah. DC seems to be doing things like just a little bit different than Marvel, and I'm really into it. Like this game looks better than most of the Marvel games that I've seen over the past couple of years.
Yeah, they're really leaning into like the R-rated stuff, like a little bit more violent, a little bit more adult, and I like that. This game definitely looks that. It's very violent, it's very funny, and
Oh
like
yeah.
some language. So yeah, I'm excited for this. And they did talk about the that battle pass is only going to be cosmetic battle pass, and then there's going to be all this like upgradable stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I'm still hesitant, knowing that this may be games as service but definitely just based on the what we saw from the cutscenes and the story in this, it looks like it's going to have a fantastic story that's already going to get me to be invested in the game. So they also revealed 3 new Street Fighter 6 characters: Zangief, Lily, and Cammy. Are you a street fighting man?
Nah, like fighting games in general are not my area.
Yeah, me either. I always like to play them just to, mostly like the Mortal Kombat games I'll play or whatever. And the Injustice games, speaking of DC, those games are fantastic. But yeah, I've never been one to play these, especially like, when you got to play like online against people.
Oh yeah.
Not happening. But the game, it looks great. Looks a lot of fun. Baldur's Gate 3, they showed a trailer for that. Very D&D, they got the classes. They showed some of the fighting. And then the release date, August 31st, for all those tabletop RPG lovers out there. New Resident Evil 4 remake trailer showed the return of the classic Mercenaries mode from the original game. Destiny 2 Lightfall, that trailer coming out, new game, or that DLC or whatever they call it, comes out February 28th. And then the PSVR 2 games that I talked about earlier, they showed 5 new games coming sometime in the future. One of them looked really strange. What was it? It was like Synapse or something like that. Anyways, it's like black and white, and there's these pops of color everywhere, and you're shooting these people, and you're using telekinetic powers. Looked really, really cool. There's a game from Isaac Asimov based on his Foundation series, and then a game called Before Your Eyes, where whenever you blink, you jump forward in time. So that one looks really interesting as well. And then new game from the developers of Tetris Effect, a game called Humanity. It's like a weird like Lemmings style game where like there's just all these like hundreds of people chasing after a dog. I don't know. It looks weird.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Yeah,
that
saw
one
like a
ranks.
rainbow of people for some
Yeah,
reason. It
yeah.
was strange in the trailer.
It was strange. That's going to be out on PS4, PS5, and PSVR2, so I have no idea what that's going to be. And then Shia, we saw they talked about this a while back, and maybe like one of the Game Awards or whatever, but it looks really cool. You can go into like these animals and fly around and do all this stuff, but that game is going to be a day one game on the PlayStation Plus Extra. So they're finally taking a page from Game Pass and bringing some new games to the service. So that one will be good. That's on March 21st. Goodbye Volcano High. I was watching the state of play with my wife, and she was like super into this one. It's like a about weird like dinosaur high schoolers,
Dinosaur brony combos.
yeah, exactly, dude. They're strange looking creatures. But that comes out June 15th. What else? New look at Wayfinder. This is gonna be the new I think it's like a MMO RPG or something. I don't know if it's free to play or what, but it looked interesting. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing really major coming out at this, but showing a lineup of things to come in the near future. Anything anything on there get you excited?
Not exactly. If I had the PlayStation VR2, maybe so, but I mean, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is about
Yeah,
all that's going to do it for me on that
I
list.
agree. Even as a huge Sony fanboy as I am, like, sure, it was cool, some cool stuff, but even like the VR titles, like I was hoping for maybe something a little bit grander. I don't know, maybe like give me another. What I really want, everybody's really wanted a new Astrobot. It was one of the games that came out previously with the PlayStation VR. It was a fantastic game, but we'll see. All right, let's move on to something just as exciting, if not more exciting. Will Call of Duty be coming to the Nintendo Switch or whatever the hell Nintendo's going to be doing in the near future?
Yeah.
According to the president of the United States, no, the president of Xbox, that they just signed a 10-year deal to bring bring Call of Duty to Nintendo. What is your take on this thing?
Well, with a big old asterisk that says if the deal goes through with to acquire Blizzard, King, 5 other companies under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder if Nintendo has some hardware up their sleeve. Last time we talked about it being at the end of the Switch's life cycle, and this was according to Nintendo, and a representative saying that with no new hardware planned or announced or something like that, we'd have to look back at the language. But I mean, we haven't had so much as a hint of what's going to come next, and maybe that's to keep Switch sales up in the meantime. Maybe they're not ready with whatever's coming next, but if it's going to run COD with they called it like feature parity, so a 1-to-1, hopefully. I mean, I assume it can run maybe like a version of Warzone at a lighter resolution, but there's a lot going on in those games, a lot of detail packed into those games. So
Yeah.
I'd almost hate to see what it would look like on the Switch if the next Call of Duty comes out on the Switch.
Yeah. So the statement from Microsoft and Nintendo, it says Microsoft and Nintendo have now negotiated and signed a binding 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo players the same day as Xbox with full feature and content parity so that they can experience Call of Duty just as Xbox and PlayStation gamers enjoy Call of Duty. We're committed to providing long-term equal access to Call of Duty to other gaming platforms, bringing more choice and more players and more competition to the gaming market. Now, to me, this is just a show. This is just, a puppet show for the people that are ruling on whether or not this Activision Microsoft deal should go through. In so much is that Brad Smith, the guy, had a PlayStation contract with him when he had made this announcement and said, like, hang on, I have a quote from him. We haven't agreed on a deal with Sony, but I hope we will. I hope today is a day that will advance our industry and regulation in a responsible way. Sony can spend all its energy trying to block this deal, which will reduce competition and slow the evolution of the market. Or they can sit down with us and hammer out a deal. And he had a legitimate paper contract. Like, Sony's just going to be like in the crowd. It's like a wrestling thing where he's going to be in there. Let me sign that for the championship. Like, what is this? It's so ridiculous. And it, like you said, it's all entirely dependent on, this is not going to happen if Xbox does not own Call of Duty at some point in the near future. So,
and it's interesting that Nintendo's playing ball with Microsoft on this.
Yeah.
But it illustrates how these companies see each other. Nintendo definitely sees themselves as something else compared to these other two major players in the gaming console space. Whereas Xbox and PlayStation see each other as fierce competition, other than when Xbox needs to prove a point.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't, take it with a grain of salt if you're, if you're a Nintendo head and you've been wanting to play Call of Duty all these years. Like, sure, it may happen, it may not happen, but right now, to me, it just seems like a farce. And they're like, see, look at, we're playing ball. Look at, Nintendo's gonna have it. PlayStation, don't you want it? Like, I don't know, man. It's the whole thing is a little silly. But
I kind of hope it goes through so we can see what in the world they're going to do, though.
it's true, yeah. Like, are they gonna be like, here, same day that Xbox gets Call of Duty, the Nintendo Switch will also have a full Call of Duty
and
like,
glorious 480p.
Yeah, like, and then as far as even creating that, how do you create a game that runs on Xbox, the Series X, and runs on the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, with feature parity, they said.
Yes. I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm eager to see more, hear more. We'll see. All right, let's move on to subscription gaming minute. It's another new one that's just flying out. Bam, 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 bam. Not as exciting as the PlayStation VR one, but still cool. PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium announced their game catalog for February. This comes out February 21st. A lot of good ones. Like initially I was like, I mean, we talk about it all the time, the new games coming to subscription. We should really have like a cool segment. But this one I was like, okay, do we really want to talk about it? And then I looked at the list and I was like, damn. So Horizon Forbidden West comes to PS4, PS5. The Quarry comes to PS4, PS5. Resident Evil Biohazard, that's Resident Evil 7, comes to PS4. Outriders comes to PS4, PS5. Scarlet Nexus comes to PS4, PS5. Borderlands 3 comes to them both. Tekken 7 comes to PS4. Ace Combat 7 also comes to PS4. Earth Defense Force 5, that's a mouthful, to PS4. Oni Naki comes to PS4. Lost Sphere, I Am Setsuna, both to PS4. And The Forgotten City comes to both PS4 and PS5. That's all on the PlayStation Extra catalog. And then PlayStation Premium Classics gets The Legend of Dragoon, Wild Arms 2, Harvest Moon, Back to Nature, and the new PS4 Destroy All Humans game. So, I mean, that's February. And just on this list, the games that I'm excited to play, Horizon Forbidden West, The Quarry, I was waiting for a sale. That's like the Until Dawn, horror.
Dark Pictures anthology.
Too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just like that, where you control like these characters. Outriders, I always wanted to give it a shot. It kind of flopped, but I do like a good co-op shooter. And then Scarlet Nexus. I started that on Game Pass, but I would definitely prefer to, earn some trophies as I play it. It's like a role-playing game where you have like psychokinetic abilities. So yeah, dude, I'm hyped for this month. So really cool. Because even last month, I think I talked about whether or not I was going to continue keeping the service. And yeah, as of right now, I'm in.
Nice. Yeah, don't sleep on Borderlands 3 though. It's
yes.
It's one of those games where like you can just pick it up at any time and
yeah,
old-timey fun.
Well, it's funny, Borderlands 3, that's one of the games I just got in one of my Steam bundles.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So I can play that wherever, whenever. And then we cannot leave out Game Pass. They also had their February announcement, the second wave, and they announced that Merge and Blade comes to Game Pass, console, PC, and cloud on February 28th. Soul Hackers 2, also on February 28th. F1 2022, you love that game. You're a big fan of the F1 series. I know that. Oh, yeah. That's coming to console and PC on March 2nd. And then Wolong Fallen Dynasty, that's the day one on March 3rd, comes to console and PC. I'm excited for that one. Another whatever samurai game or whatever these games are. Yeah. Some sort of kung fu shit. So yeah, only 4 games, but some big uns. Yeah. And I know you'll be in there with your F1 just cruising around the track as fast
when
as you
your
can go.
control scheme is so approachable to new players, how can you not love it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And last up, gaming is about to get a lot scarier. Blumhouse, the huge horror movie and TV production company, is launching a game studio. Are you familiar with the Blumhouse Pictures?
Oh yeah, my wife loves like the whole horror movie genre
Oh,
and
nice.
everything they've ever done.
Yes, yeah, they all the classics: Paranormal Activity, Insidious, Creep, Get Out, like all those two great movies, and even some like really good not horror movies they make too. So I'm excited when I saw this. Let me read the quote from President of Blumhouse, Abhijay Prakash. For some time, we have been looking to build out a team to start accessing the growth opportunity in interactive media. When we sat with Zach and Don, I'll get into who those guys are, they articulated an approach that resonated with Blumhouse's model, and we knew it was a perfect place for us to start our push into the interactive space. So they're going to be partnering with these independent game developers to make indie budget games of under $10 million. So it's kind of the same strategy they use with their films, make these lower budget games and hope that they hit. Like, I mean, you talk about Paranormal Activity that cost what, like $150,000 to make, and it made like
I thought it was like 15,000.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And then it made like $86 billion. So Zach and Don, so Zach Woods and Don Sexler, are going to be heading up the company. So Zach Wood, he has been in video games for over 25 years. He worked on every platform, including Game Boy, PlayStation, Xbox. Worked on Sound Shapes, Hohokam, and Redfall. And then Seckler, he's head of the finance department. He's worked for Sony and helped reform PlayStation's relationship with third-party creators. So, you know, some good people there running the show. And yeah, should be exciting, man. I'm excited to see what they can do. They do, like we said, they do good stuff with their movies. So,
and interesting strategy going for the lower budgets. We hear every day there's a new studio forming, and it's going to be a AAA studio. It's got all these huge people. Well, huge people, huge names, huge money, huge disappointment sometimes.
Smart, yeah, absolutely, dude. Like I mean, we see it all. Like the Blumhouses, that's their thing. Like you look at their movies, and there's very few that are huge. You know, they're not like Fast and Furious like numbers where they're just putting all this money in there, but more subtle, creepy, and I'm excited to see what they can do with games. As much as I love playing, I mean, I love the idea of horror games. I don't love playing them as much, but I buy them all, and then I just pee my pants while I play them. But I buy a lot of pants. It's cool. It's cool.
Just I'm obsessed with the image now in my head. Now that you said like Fast and Furious and Blumhouse, I'm thinking like Paranormal Activity 3 Tokyo Drift.
Yes.
Off the back of a nuclear submarine, Jason Statham.
Just ghost riding the whip.
Yes, Ghost Rider. Just Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, he's in there too. Absolutely. That's gonna be it for us here at Gaming News Weekly. My name is Erect the Red. Here, this guy right here, Full Clip. Check us out on Fruit Lab. We're posting all our quality gaming content over there. You can also check us out on YouTube. I'm at Pop Culture Playground. He is at GameFAQs, GAMEFAX. You can also find him occasionally on Twitch, FullClip_FL. And then check out this show in the audio format on cassette I'm going to throw a few cassette tapes around, maybe like a Goodwill here and there.
Yeah, McDonald's restroom, maybe changing table.
Exactly. Just pop in there, look for a cassette. If you find one, it's like a golden ticket. You get a meet and greet with Full Clip. I'm too cool for that. And podcasts. You ever heard of podcasts? It's like cassette tapes that you just download. You can get us anywhere on the go. Make it happen. And then check us out on TikTok. who are close. We're getting real close to 300 followers over there on the old TikTok. So I am going to be starting to just put my breasts right out there. So, if that sounds interesting.
Well, we'll be at 300,000 before we know it.
Exactly. Yeah. Who doesn't want to see these bosoms? All right. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. We're done here. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.